like for you at least, the big thing that you're really focusing on is precision.
Bingo. Yep. Yeah, we want this stuff to be as good a quality as we can get and as reproducible as we can get. And then once we start to scale up, try to make it so everything stays consistent and, we have no glitches along the way.
Yeah.
We hope.
So I'm guessing that, I'm assuming that when you formulated your recipes and when you were, coming up with Cowabunga and Chocolate Cherry Bonbon, that, you can see where my focus is. That you started with regular home-sized batches of a gallon or a few gallons to test drive it, see if it was going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so did those all translate up well?
Relatively well. Yeah. We've noticed along the way that there's definitely variations in the fruits that we're getting, and each batch will be slightly different than the rest. But that's the fun of tasting these things along the way. And, sometimes you need to add in a little more cherries or a little more vanilla. And, eventually it kind of turns out as perfect as you can try to get it. But the scaling up has actually worked pretty well. I think Mead, translates well from 1 to 5 gallon batches to 120 gallon batches. And, soon we're going to find out how it scales up again. We've just ordered some, Italian tanks.
Ooh.
And we now have 300-gallon tanks coming up for our primaries, and then we're going to be flavoring out of 70-gallon tanks.
Wow.
So do you guys start out with a basic batch and then separate out to make the various meads that you make?
You got it. Yep, exactly.
Cool. That seems to be getting more and more common, and it makes good sense, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the name of the traditional Sweet Nothing.
That's a great name.
I'm glad you like it. That was hard. It's tough coming up with some of these names, and especially for and I don't want to call it a boring mead because there's no ingredients in it. So how do you try to come up with a name of something that doesn't have anything in it? So that was tricky.
Yeah, that's nice.
I have to ask, who writes the descriptions?
Me, Terry, we just kind of brainstorm and whatever kind of comes out, we go, we go through it a couple times, we revise it. Usually grammatically, I'm horrible, so Terry will revamp it and turn it into English. And eventually it gets to print.
Well, I like
them.
I'm
glad you like it.
They're hilarious. I was reading
a little flower.
Before we called you guys in, I was reading some of them online or on the show. They're just hilarious.
Yeah, the overly optimistic. That
one was great. Yeah.
I really like that one.
I think we drank a lot that night. That was good.
Sometimes
keep drinking. It works.
Yeah, it's working. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
The method to our madness.
Yeah, there you go. When did you guys actually open your doors? I know it was fairly recent because we've been kind of talking back and forth for a few months, Yeah,
about 4 months ago.
Oh my gosh!
It's hard. Yep.
So
we just had our little 4-month anniversary last week.
Nice. So how did the holiday season go for you since you opened up just before that? Did you get cleaned out?
You know what? It was interesting. I almost expected that we would get nothing because we're so new and we really don't advertise that, why would anybody come and buy something they don't know anything about? But we were relatively busy, and there's definitely people that wanted to buy local and found us through various places, and it was a pretty good holiday season. And even since then, this last weekend, we had some pretty crappy weather. And we're pretty busy. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Nice. That is really. I'm glad to hear that because it's hard when you come up that close to the holidays to catch that momentum.
Yeah. We were a little nervous, but I think little by little our reputation's getting out there, and people are starting to talk. We've gotten in the newspaper a few times. Actually, we're going to be on the radio in 2 days.
Nice.
On a show in Delaware, Thursdays. So it's kind of interesting that we're talking to you, and we've got this radio show in a couple days. So in 1 week, we've got a couple of interesting verbal medias that we've never had.
Awesome. Are you guys doing anything special at the shop for Valentine's Day, since that's coming up in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we've got a couple things going on. We've got some food trucks that we like a lot, and that we've been working very well with, that usually come about once a week. So we're planning on having some of them come, and we're going to have some specials. We're going to have a brunch that weekend that's going to be kind of special.
Nice.
A special kind of vegan pop-up brunch. So, and that was extreme. The last time we had one of those brunches, it was packed. So
Cool.
I think it'll happen again.
Excellent.
And we found some goofy little red candy hearts that we're going to stick in the Mead glasses that day. So
Oh, fun.
we'll make it fun.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. So,
I had the idea of dressing everybody up like Cupid that day with diapers, but that hasn't gone over.
yeah, I imagine that probably. And besides, then you have to have wings and bows and arrows, and it gets complicated, you know?
It's hard to serve when you're carrying a bow.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought in concept it sounded good, but oh darn it.
You know, when the staff gangs up on you and says, "Oh heck no," that's
Yeah.
Danger
They
pay
give
for
you that
diapers.
funny look.
yeah.
Like, how
Don't
much
make
you
us kill
can-
you and bury you out back in the hot pile.
Okay. Not good.
So now, are you doing any stuff with local fruits? I see you're getting like cherries from Michigan, Washington, stuff like that. Have you got local fruits that you're real keen on?
Yes. Yeah. And interestingly enough, the Thai chili peppers that are in Tiger, we actually grow ourselves.
Oh, really?
Cool.
So yes. And I typically have a brown thumb, but somehow I can't kill peppers. They're tougher than me, so that's gone very well. We're working on a lavender flavor,
Ooh.
and there's a big lavender farm down in southern Delaware that's got awesome stuff that we're hopefully going to work on. And we just released a new flavor January 1st called Black 302,
Ooh.
and it's got blackberries that are raised about 10 miles from here by kind of a friend of mine. I had no idea he had a blackberry farm, but we discovered him at the last minute, and it's awesome. These blackberries are amazing.
Nice. Now, did you do that as a dry, medium, sweet?
It turned out kind of semi-sweet. We try to keep a lot of ours in the semi-sweet range. The choco cherry is a little bit of an exception. We hit that in the sweet range just because it's so darn good. But like to kind of balance things out. I don't know if the Delaware palate's ready for a real sweet, thick type mead yet. It's a very much, from what we've noticed, a kind of a wine group.
Yeah.
So we like to try to hit right in the middle.
Yeah, well, you get the broadest appeal that way, generally speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
you're
where it
going to hit
seems.
that's the largest group. There's the dry people, there's the sweet people, but the medium sweet people are the biggest group.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the stuff that James is making down at Charm City.
Yeah, they've got some good
and
stuff.
the drier stuff. But it's a little too dry for me.
Yeah, the Cellarman's in Detroit is doing several dry meads, and I'm normally not a dry mead fan. I was stunned at how good a dry mead that was well done could be. You know,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
I don't often get the opportunity to taste a lot of dry mead. They rarely put me on the dry meads table at the Mazer Cup because everybody knows I don't like dry meads. It does still happen
well, you
once in a
should
while,
definitely-
but yeah.
Definitely try the Charm City stuff. He's got some really neat ones.
I've had a couple of their meads that I've picked up here and there, but I'll have to check out their dry ones. I don't know that I've had those yet. But I'll tell you what I want to know about is this maple bacon coffee mead. Seriously?
Man, yeah, you're stealing our secret weapon.
Hey, it was on the
All right.
website. It's
Yeah.
not secret.
I told Terry not to do that. I'm like, come on, you're giving all my fun away.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Terry.
well, here we go. Might as well let it out. All right,
Yeah.
we're lucky enough. We have a local roaster in Delaware, and he's got awesome stuff. And we've known this guy for a while, and has bought his stuff just drank it, and noticed that he had a maple bacon coffee, And
God.
it just literally, all of a sudden the light bulbs went off, and Terry and I are like, we've got to do something with this. So we bought some. We went to see him. We told him exactly what we wanted to do. He made a special blend for us, which is awesome because I guess Peruvian, Guatemalan, Mexican, Ethiopian, all these coffees have different flavor profiles, and he was actually able to make us a custom blend to not be too bitter but have some good flavor.
Uh-huh.
And we finally, after a couple of batches of research, came up with a real nice combo. So we're hoping to introduce it somewhere March, April, as soon as TTB gets it through their system.
Nice.
So that'll be out there soon.
It's kind of like your Sunday brunch mead, eh?
Oh, it's awesome. It's really nice. It's a little strong, but it's awesome. We're also we're lucky enough, some of the guys that volunteer some time with us and help us out with bottling day and even behind the bar, work for the local Delaware National Guard. And we're inspired by one of our talks one day into making something that eventually is morphed into Minuteman Mead.
Okay.
So we're going to make a National Guard honorary drink, mead, that's based on a kind of a real old antique colonial recipe of persimmons pudding.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't really know about. And it's a persimmons vanilla nutmeg mead.
Oh, good Lord.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
It's very unique. I mean, I can't say I've ever tasted anything like it. But that's in the works too. Again, going through GTB, and hopefully it'll get released somewhere in the springtime.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me a bottle of that. I'm wondering where they pulled. Was it based on a pudding or on a mead that was like a pudding-like thing? Because there's colonial era mead recipes. That's why I was curious.
Oh, really? No, I haven't seen any of those. This is just based on, well, for whatever reason, again, we did some research into this whole Minuteman thing and seeing how kind of the original National Guard originated and what they would have eaten, what they would have liked. And this persimmons pudding was kind of a delicacy at the time, almost from what I gather on the order of like a cheesecake.
Okay.
It was a very special thing that was just made for special occasions. And when we looked into the ingredients and also saw that we can get some local persimmons in Delaware, it just got us thinking, and we threw some together, and turned out pretty darn good. It's just very unique, but it's really good.
Sounds like it. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna want to try that. Yeah, when you mentioned old-timey recipes, my brain immediately went to Martha Washington's cookbook, which actually has 3 or 4 mead recipes in it.
No, I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Just look it up. Right. Yeah, look it up. It's actually online, and there are 3 or 4 mead recipes in it that are really good. And I'll tell you, if you're into taking historical flavors and bringing them into the modern mead world, a great reference is A Sip Through Time. It's actually available on Amazon, and the author is an SCA member and a gal. I met her years and years ago. She's really nice, but she collected mead recipes going back to like the 1500s.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's all kinds of interesting stuff in there. And it's not just meads. I mean, there's like cordials and syllabubs and, all sorts of other stuff in there. But just because the flavor profiles were so different in those days.
Yeah. Wow. Well, all I know is that Terry is feverishly writing things down because kind of
we record this, Terry.
I also take notes.
I'm the crazy science guy in the group, and she is an amazing cook. So she loves flavors. She loves combinations.
Oh, Terry, you and I got to talk, girl. I'm a flavor nut. I'm a spice whore, dude. I literally an entire shelf of my pantry is full of all sorts of weirdo spices that nobody's ever heard of except me.
I love it. That's exactly how I am.
Yeah, do you spice by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, my husband will be
Yeah.
like, honey, can you come in here and spice this? And I'll look at it and I'll smell it, and then I'll grab something off the shelf and smell that. No, that's not quite right. And and then grab something. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. We'll put a little bit of that in there. And okay, wait, we probably need some of this over here. And I have no idea what I'm doing, but it always seems to come out okay.